Paper for books and newspapers back in the day. This island is about from the 1600s. It's a pretty old island, and there are now built some luxury homes on it. By 2025 it's supposed to be like finished. Så her er Christiansholm bedre kendt til Papirøen på jeres højre side på en gamle papirlager. Og den ø er fra 1600-tallet. Nu bygger de nogle luksuslejligheder, og til 2025 burde det være færdigt. Foran jer har I nemlig operahuset. Operahuset er bygget i 2005 og tegnet af Henning Larsen. Den er 14 etage på hver og 5 meter vandets linje. So in front of you, you have the Danish Opera House. The Opera House is built in 2005 and drawn by Henning Larsen. And it's 14 stories, where 5 of them are actually below the water level. Så nu sejler vi så om bag Holmen. Holmen er en kunstig ø, 5 kunstige øer, og det var her, de opbevarede store træskibe, det var store brandfarer at have dem ude i havnen. So now we're staying to Holmen. Holmen is made out of 5 man-made islands, and this is where they stored wooden ships because they were a big fire hazard to have them in the city back in the day. This is an area where I have to stay quiet because people live on the water, but I will continue shortly. Så her skal jeg faktisk være stille. Det er en beboelsesområde, men jeg skal nok fortsætte lige om lidt. So there's a bridge coming up. Thank you for staying seated. Tak for bliver siden, når der kommer bro. take a look at this house here on the left hand side. It's called the torpedo holes. Her på venstre side af torpedohallerne. I gamle dage kunne der være op til 4 torpedoskibe herinde, så kunne det blive løftet op og renoveret. So in the olden days there could be up to 4 torpedo ships in there, and they could be lifted up and renovated like that. These are now made into homes. Here on your left hand side you also have the cannon boat sheds, and this is where they kept cannon boats, but this is also where they kept artillery. These houses are about 300 years old and now are offices. Her på jeres venstre side, så er I nemlig kanonbådsskruerne, og kanonbådsskruerne, hvor de opbevarede nogle våben, men også ting til kanonbåderne til selv. De her kanonbådsskruer er cirka 300 år gamle, og de er i fred, det vil sige, at man må ikke bo i dem, og de er så blevet lavet om til nogle arbejdsområder. Venstre side, eller så undskyld, højre side, så er det nemlig gravdelen af Christiania. Christiania var et militærområde, men så blev det overtaget af hippierne i 1970'erne og blev lavet til deres eget fritsted. So here on your right hand side you have the back side of Christiania, and Christiania is like a free town. It was originally a military area, but then it was later on taken over by the hippies in the 1970s and made into a own free town. This backside here is a really pretty place to go and take a walk and look at some. Actually, in the back part here, you have some very beautiful. Well, I'm sorry mentioning it, but you cannot see it. But here in the back part, you have some very interesting and beautiful architectural buildings. Den bagdel her er faktisk fyldt med sådan nogle rigtig flotte arkitekturiske bygninger. Men nu til dags, så her ved Holmen, så finder man for eksempel sådan noget som den danske filmskole, der ligger her, og blandt andet ligger der også den designer-sten af universitetet her. So what can you find actually here nowadays? So nowadays here in Holmen, you'll find, for example, like the Danish Film School is located here, and the other art schools, for example, the designer school is also located here in Holmen. So there's a bridge coming up. Thank you for remaining seated. Tak for at blive siddende. Der kommer på. Here on your left-hand side, this is a military area, but sorry, right, it's a military area. Of course, we're not going to be sailing in there, but I'd like to show you some interesting things that are located here. Så vi sejler også nemlig forbi i militærområdet, og her skal vi selvfølgelig ikke sejle ind, men jeg vil gerne vise nogle interessante ting. For eksempel et skib med M352 på det, det hedder Peder Skram. Peder Skram var stationeret her i Danmark, hvor der nu var lidt krig. Og i 1982 var der nogen ombord på Peder Skram, der trykkede på den hjerteknap, der udløste et missil til tag nederlag i 3 sommerhus i Nordsjællands område, men heldigvis var der ikke nogen, der døde fra det. So the ship F-351 served in Denmark under the Cold War. In 1982, somebody on board the ship pressed the wrong button. The but released a missile, and the missile completely ruined 3 summer houses in North Zealand. This went down in the history books as the Whoopsie missile. Don't be worried, it's only windy while we're going upwards, but when we're coming back, it's there's no wind. So you're getting the full experience right now with the waves in your face. Foran jer så i 3 pakhuse. Pakhusene var jo på vareserie for hele verden. Den som vi mindst hvor vi var på vareserie for Grønland, og det er den længst til venstre, og hvor vi på vareserie for den gyldne kyst af Afrika, som rom og tobak. De 2 pakhuse er nu blevet lavet om til lejligheder, og den her til højre er blevet lavet om til et museum. So the 3 warehouses on your left hand side now is where you can goods from all over the world. The one in the middle is where you can goods from Greenland. The one to the left is where you can goods from the Golden Coast of Africa. The one to the right is where you can goods from the West Indies, which is now made into a museum, and the last 2 are now made into homes. Here on your right hand side, you also get to see Amager Hill. Amager is one of the world's most modern incinerators, which burns up to 350,000 tons of trash annually. There's actually a built-in ski slope on the side of the incinerator, and there's also a rock climbing wall on it. Så Amager på jeres højre side er en af verdens mest moderne forbrændingsanlæg. Den forbrænder 350.000 ton af affald om året, og der er faktisk også bygget en skibakke på siden af Amager. Så kan man også godt klatre op på siden af det. You can see the Danish flag waving at us on the right hand side. The Danish flag is the world's oldest flag, dating back to 1219, where legend has it fell down from the sky under a crusade in modern-day Tallinn, Estonia. På jeres højre side ser jeg også nemlig det vores danske flag med Dannebro. Og Dannebro er som sagt verdens ældste flag, der går helt vejen tilbage til Tallinn, hvor legenden siger, at det faldt ned fra himlen under en korstog i Tallinn. We also get to see the royal yacht from here. The royal yacht is the world's oldest yacht, and it's called Dannebro. And this is what the Queen uses when she's going to visit our other colonies like Greenland and the Faroe Islands. Jeres højre side ser jeg nemlig Dannebro. Dannebro er verdens ældste kongeskibe, helt vejen tilbage til 1937. Og det som den dronning mor skal besøge vores andre forbindelser på Grønland og Færøerne. Som vi drejer hjørnet, kan jeg se den grønne areal med kanonerne, der hedder batteri Sixtus. Hver dag bliver en kanon skudt af om solopgang og solnedgang for at indikere begyndelsen og slutningen af dagen. Dog er det blevet besluttet, at morgenstund, altså solopgang er altid kl. 8, den vigtigste folket, der bor her i havn som kongefamilie, som dronning. So here on your right hand side, you have batteri Sixtus, and batteri Sixtus with the green area with the cannon. Cannon is fired up every sunrise and sunset to indicate the start and the end of the day. Although it's been decided collectively that sunrise is always at 8 a.m., not sooner, not later, but it's because the sun comes up at 4 a.m. in the summertime and you don't want to annoy the people who live in the harbor. Here on your right hand side, this area is called Left for short, and in the olden days, in the 1980s, this was one of the biggest workplaces. And this is where they also made engines for ships for the Germans in the Second World War. This is now a place for fun. There was, for example, the Copenhagen here a few days ago, and this is where you can, for example, find like you can go climbing, you can play paintball, laser tag, get good food, or you can go bungee jumping on the tower next to you. Det her areal hedder Regnlandsøen, hvor der findes en map, var i gamle dage en af de største arbejdspladser i 1980'erne. Det er det jo så ikke længere. Og blev lavet til et sted, for eksempel havde Copenhagen nogle dage siden, og så havde vi også Vegan, der er lasertag, og alt muligt spændende ting, så bungee jumping også. et lille øjeblik kommer ind til at se det lille hav. Det kommer til at være på jeres højre side. Vi skal nok lige holde så I får billedet af this. So in this moment, we'll be sailing past the Little Mermaid. She'll be located on your right hand side. We'll slow a little bit down so you can get a better look at her. Så den lille havfru sidder på sin sten, sidder lidt 13, og hun var en gæv fra Carl Jacobsen fra Carlsberg. Og hun var helt forelsket i Arthur, der er en sådan forestilling om det i teateret. Hilbert Eriksen, billedhugger, der brugte sin kone som model efter hende. Hun har også været meget uheldig, da hun har mistet hovedet 2 gange. Hun har fik armskade af 1 gang. Men hun er altid blevet reddet. So, the Little Mermaid has been sitting on her rock since 1913. And she was a gift from Carl Jacobsen from the Carlsberg Brewery, who fell in love with this character after seeing a play about it in the theaters. The man who made her was Hilbert Eriksen. He used his wife to model after her. And she's also been very unlucky. She's been decapitated twice. She has her arm sewn off once. She has had graffiti and paint poured over many times. But luckily, as you can see, she's always been safe and has been sitting on her rock ever so graciously since then. In front of you, you get to see some water planes. The water planes fly through they are like, you can take a tour with them around Copenhagen. De her vandflyver her til højre, de er faktisk mere sådan en turistattraktion, så man kan flyve rundt i København med dem. Her på jeres højre side kan I se 2 kongelige pavilloner. De kongelige pavilloner, hvor dronningen venter, når hun skal bord i skib denne bro. Det med de gule leje til gæsterne, og det med de gule hus af de selve dronning og hendes familie. So here on the right hand side, these 2 royal pavilions, this is where the queen waits when she's going on board her royal yacht, denne bro. The one with the golden onion is for the guests, and the one with the golden crown is for Her Majesty and her family. The white building with the blue eyes, also on the right hand side, is the headquarters of Maersk. Maersk is the world's biggest shipping container company and in 121 countries. Her på jeres højre side, så er også nemlig hovedkvarteret for Maersk. Maersk er verdens største containerrederier. Det er stadig 121 lande, og Amy Maersk var en af de få danskere, der nogensinde modsatte den højeste rang i danske samfund, nemlig elefantorden. where the queen lives. She lives in the palace called Amalienborg. She lives in the one with the 5 chimneys, and the crown prince family lives in the one with the 4 chimneys closest to us. The way we know the queen is home if there's a flag above her palace. As you can see, there's no flag, that means she's not home. Fra jeres højre side ser jeg sådan der Amalienborg, og det her er dronningens bror. Hun bor i den med de 5 skorsten, og kronprinsen bor i den med sin familie i den med de 4 skorsten. Det måde, vi ved godt, at hun er hjemme, det er, hvis der er flag på hendes kollega. Som I kan se, der er ikke noget flag, det vil sige, at hun er ikke hjemme. Herfra kan I også se en kirke. Kirken hedder Marmorkirken, og det tog 145 år at blive bygget, da der var ikke nok penge til at bygge den. Til gengæld har den største kuppel i hele Skandinavien. So on your right hand side, you also get to see, the right hand side, you also get to see the marble church. The marble church took 145 years to build because there was not enough money to build it. Though it has the biggest dome in the whole of Scandinavia, and it's totally worth a visit. From here, you also get a beautiful look of the Opera House. Og herfra kan jeg se en meget smuk udsigt til Operahuset. Så sejler vi også ind til Christianshavns kanaler, men før vi gør det, så jeg vil gerne med, så måske I synes det er lidt mere interessant at sejle der. Så der var en gang kong Christian 4. Det var ham, der skabte eller udviklede Christianshavn, fordi han havde lyst til at have en rig købmand til at komme og bo her. Den rige købmand havde altså ikke lyst til at bo her, da de allerede havde en Amsterdam, så de kom, de havde det sjovt, så tog de hjem igen. Til gengæld, det her areal, det er Christianshavn, det er til, at befolkningen af København flyttede sig ind. Nu er det en af de dyreste områder at bo i hele København. So, Christianshavn, where we're sailing to in a second, a lot of people say it looks like Amsterdam, and that is because it is true, because Christian IV he had 23 kids and he bankrupted the country. He loved architecture. He created Christianshavn to look like Amsterdam so he could get rich merchants to come and settle here. The merchants came, they had fun, but he went home. He didn't want to stay here because they already had an Amsterdam back home. So he was left with this big great area that the people were already mad at him for using so much money, and now nobody wants to live here. So he had the workers of Copenhagen moved in, and as soon as time went on, it flourished, and it's now one of the most expensive places to live in the whole of Copenhagen. It's also a place where I have to stay quiet because people live on the water, but I will warn you about the bridges, and then I'll show you a beautiful church. It's like a spiral church. You might have seen it before. And then I'll just continue after the canals. Så det her det er et område, det er et beboelsesområde, så jeg skal være stille. Til gengæld skal jeg nok vide, når jeg er mor og vise jer en meget smuk kirke på vejen, på Frederiks kirke. Og det er sådan en spirale kirke, vi kan I se det faktisk med 430 trin til toppen. So there's a bridge coming up. Thank you for staying seated. Tak for det siden, at der kommer en bro. So after the bridge, to your left hand side, you'll be able to see the church. Efter broen til jeres venstre side kan I se kirken til jeres venstre side. Tak for besøget, and thank you for staying seated. There's another bridge coming up. Der kommer en bro til. So another bridge coming up, and I'll continue right after. Der kommer bro, men efter det skal jeg nok fortsætte. Foran jer har I nemlig den kongelige seng, bedre kendt som den sorte diamant. Den har en handling på 7 grader, så når sol lyser, rammer det skinner som diamanter. So in front of you, you have the Royal Library. The Royal Library is better known as the Black Diamond because it has a tilt of 7 degrees, and when the sunshine hits it, it shines just like diamonds. In front of you, you have Flux, one of the newest buildings here in Copenhagen. And Flux is built in 2018, drawn by Dutch architects. Her foran jer har I nemlig Flux. Flux er en af de nyeste bygninger, vi har her i København, tegnet i 2018 af hollandske arkitekter. So as you see, one of the newest buildings after the bridge, I'll show you one of the oldest buildings we have here in Copenhagen. Så nu kan I se en af de nyeste bygninger, vi har her i København, men efter broen så viser jeg en af de ældste bygninger nemlig. Og tak for at I bliver siddende, and thank you for sitting down. Så her først højre side, nemlig Kongelige Bryghus, bygget i 1600-tallet. Nu er der faktisk, hvis man kan anbefale noget her, det er jo faktisk, de har en rigtig dejlig ølsmagningsmuseum, hvis man er lidt til det. So here on your right hand side, this is the Royal Brew House by Christian IV, and it's mostly used as a museum. So if you're into beer tasting, it has a very nice beer tasting museum. Here in front, next to you on your right hand side, you have a lighthouse boat. The lighthouse boat is 1 out of 7 left in the whole world. It's called the Fyrskibet. It used to be home to a family, but this is now made into meeting rooms. Her på jeres højre side sagde nemlig Fyrskibet, og Fyrskibet er 1 ud af 7 tilbage i hele verden. Og den var en hjem til en familie, men nu er det blevet lavet om til nogle mødelokaler. Mind your heads, there's another bridge coming. Pas på hovederne, kommer en bro til. Here on your right hand side is called Slotspalmen, and these are royal stables. Back in the day, there were up to 200 horses kept here. Now there's only about 30 horses kept here, and they go on daily walks here in Copenhagen, and are used for parades and for weddings. Her har vi kongelige steder, og der var op til 200 heste her. Nu er der cirka 30 heste, og de bliver brugt til bredder og bryllupper. Pas på hovederne, mind your heads, thank you. So in a second we'll be standing under one of the narrowest bridges, so please keep your hands inside the boat because we don't want you to get hurt. Vi sejler os under en af de smalleste broer lige om lidt, Så bare vær venligst at sætte jeres hånd ind i båden, så I ikke kommer til skade. Thank you, and just stay seated. So in Denmark, when we graduate, that's how we celebrate when we graduate. So it's a 3-week period of just drinking every day and having parties. Because when you graduate, so today is like a day. So yeah, when they graduate, and then they visit all their parents' houses. No, it's when we graduate school, when we graduate high school, and that's for high school graduation. So right now we are in the middle, the heart of Copenhagen, and here on your left-hand side, this is the old town, and this is where you can find some of the houses that date all the way back to the 1700s. So if you want to go and take a nice quiet walk around Copenhagen, I advise taking a walk over here on your left-hand side. You really feel like you go back time. Den område på jeres venstre side er nemlig gamle del af gamle København, den gamle by. Og den er et enormt smukt areal at gå en tur hen, og lige følge sig lidt til at komme tilbage til det gamle København. The area here on your left hand side is called Gamle Strand, Old Beach, and this is where fishermen's wives sold fish to the people of Copenhagen in all kinds of weather. Området her på jeres venstre side hedder Gamle Strand, og det er her, som fiskermænds kone solgte fisk til befolkningen af København i alle slags vejr. Manden på hesten foran os, Absalon, han var anerkendt for at grundlægge København i 1201. The man on the horse in front of you on the left hand side, his name is Absalon, who is known to have founded Copenhagen in 1201. And there's a bridge coming up. Thank you for staying seated. Tak for det, siddende. Here on your right hand side, this is the Parliament. This is where this is where the royal family used to live. They don't live here anymore, but the Parliament, what's interesting about it, is you can actually go up to the top of the Parliament for free every day until 6 p.m. Her på jeres højre side har vi nemlig borgen, Christiansborg, hvor alle de vigtige politiske beslutninger bliver truffet. Til gengæld så kan man faktisk komme op til tårnet gratis indtil klokken 6. Og det er også her i Biblioteksparken en enormt smuk have at gå en tur i. You'll also find Biblioteksparken from Library Park, a beautiful garden to take a walk around and see some of the cool bushes and trees. And there's another bridge coming up, so just stay seated. Der kommer en bro. Tak for I sidder. USA, nemlig Børsen. Og Børsen var markedsført af Danmark og andre lande i mange, mange år. Til gengæld, nu er det blevet lavet om til mødelokaler, og de 3 drager, der står til 3 kroner, viser Kalmar Union mellem Danmark, Sverige og Norge. So here on your right hand side, this is the stock exchange. And this is where market happened between Denmark and other countries for many, many years. This is now made into conference rooms, and the 3 dragons that spell up into 3 crowns show the Kalmar Union from between Denmark, Sweden and Norway. And another bridge coming up, but by now I see you guys already got the memo, but thank you so much for sitting down. Tak for I bliver siddende. Nationalbanken har tegnet Arne Jacobsen, og det var en af hans sidste værker, da den blev faktisk først færdig 7 år efter hans død. So here on your left hand side, this is the National Bank of Denmark, but it was drawn by Arne Jacobsen and was actually first finished 7 years after his death. And thank you for staying seated. Tak for at siddende. So throughout our trip, you might have seen a lot of people bathing in the canals and wondered, is it safe to bathe or how does it work? So this is all seawater, if you're wondering, and it is safe to bathe in the canals or designated areas where you're allowed to bathe. The Copenhagen harbor water is one of the cleanest harbor water in the whole world. The government have put a lot of effort into making it as clean as possible. Så måske har også set rigtig mange, der bader i kanalerne og tænkt, er det sundhedsfarligt? Det er jo vist ikke, det er bare virkelig koldt. Men til gengæld er der rigtig meget energi i at have det så rent som muligt med designeret områder, man må kunne bade hen. So here on your left-hand side, you have a turquoise building. The turquoise building is an old ferry terminal, and before we had a bridge between Denmark and Sweden. This is where the ferries came and docked. Now we have the bridge called Øresundsbroen, and this was made into a private club. Her på jeres venstre side ser I også nemlig en gammel færgeterminal, og før vi havde bro mellem Sverige og Danmark, så var det her færgerne kom. Til gengæld nu har vi jo broen, og det har så blevet lavet om til en private klub. And in front of us, we have one of the last bridges we'll be crossing under soon is the Inner Harbor Bridge. The Inner Harbor Bridge, also known as the Inderhavnsbroen, as you can see, is only accessible by walking or by biking across it. It's also called the Kissing Bridge because when it closes, it looks like a kiss. However, when they actually first built the bridge, there was a scandal. The two ends never met, so they needed to actually tear the whole bridge down and start from the beginning. It took them 5 years more. Pretty much a tragedy, but I think it's just hilarious. It is so miscalculated things. So Så her foran os har vi et af de sidste broer, vi skal under. Det er jo nemlig Inderhavnsbroen. Inderhavnsbroen hedder også Kyssebroen, for når det åbner og lukker, så ligner det lidt en kys. Det er noget skyld. Ja, man kan se, at man kan godt cykle eller gå henover den. Til gengæld, da de først byggede broen, så var der en skandal med, at de to ender mødtes aldrig. Så de blev nødt til at rive hele broen ned og starte forfra. Så her på jeres højre side har vi nemlig den nordatlantiske hus. Og i gamle dage var det her, der skete marked mellem Danmark, Sverige, Grønland, ikke Sverige, Danmark, Grønland, Island og Færøerne. Nu er det her, det har blevet til kunstmuseum, og det er også her, de skal sider. So here on your right hand side is the North Atlantic house, and back in the day this was a warehouse where they had the market between Iceland, Denmark, Faroe Islands and Greenland, but this is not the fact anymore. It's made into an art museum, and this is where the Icelandic embassy sits. So now we're going to be sailing back into Christianshavn's channel, sorry, not Christianshavn, Nyhavn, sorry, it's been a long day, to Nyhavn. And before we say goodbye, I'd love to tell you a little bit about a very famous writer. You might have heard of him, Hans Christian Andersen. And Hans Christian Andersen, he actually moved here from Odense, from another part of Denmark, wanting to become a family dancer. Så lige før nu er vi så tilbage til Nyhavn, men før vi siger tak for dagen, så vil jeg lige fortælle jer lidt om H.C. Andersen. En meget kendt forfatter, kender I det også selvfølgelig. H.C. Andersen boede 20 år i sit liv her i Nyhavn, fordi da han flyttede her fra Odense, han havde lyst til at være en balletdanser. Som vi ved, så det lykkedes altså ikke for ham at være balletdanser, men han kunne godt lide at bo her i Nyhavn. Det var så tæt for ham at komme til teateret, der ligger lige ved Kongens Nytorv. So the reason he liked living here in Nyhavn is because it was so close for him to go to the theater and watch ballet with his friends. You'll see in a second which house he lived in. He lived some of his life in, on your right hand side you'll be able to see the White House, and there's a plaque in front of it where you can see where he lived on the first floor. Så efter det her skib her kan I se til jeres højre side en hvid hus. På første etage var det der, han boede nogle år af sit liv. So yeah, he lived right here. Han boede lige her på jeres højre side. So the very low bridge is coming up again if you remember Nyhavns Bridge, so just keep seated, thank you. Der kommer Nyhavns Bro igen, en meget lav bro, så tak for I sidder. And before he died in 1885, Hans Christian Andersen lived in this fire orange building here on your left hand side. Og før han døde i 1885, så boede H.C. Andersen her på jeres venstre side i det orange hus. So one last thing I'd love to show you here is that one of the narrowest apartments is located here in Nyhavn, and it's located on your left hand side. Can you find it? Her på jeres venstre side finder I også den smalleste lejlighed i hele Danmark, nemlig Blyrthuset. Teka, Lydia, ako yung husband. Yes, it's right there. It's called the Pencil House right here on the left hand side. And it's home to a family of 4. Imagine getting your sofa up there. So it was very nice being your guide for this hour. Hope you guys learned something. And thank you so much. And just stay seated until we dock. And then you're free to go, okay? And thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Tusen takk. Riktig god weekend til jer.
Namaste.